Okay, so hello, friends and teachers. Now we are going to teach about a very crucial social problem that come across Indonesia. It's called child trafficking. Okay, so the definition of child trafficking is in the element of recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, and or receipt kidnapping of a child for the purpose of slavery, forced labor, and exploitation as well. Okay, so child trafficking is one of the most horrific crimes imaginable, especially when minors are involved. Every year, 25 million people are exploited by human traffickers, which is the equivalent of the entire population of Australia. Wow, it's crazy. These people are being exploited for the benefit of their captors. This is thriving financially company that generates $150 billion in annual profit and is only becoming bigger. We cannot remain silent and let this go unobtained.
Why is child trafficking a social problem? Child trafficking, otherwise known as modern slavery, involves the use of force or fraud to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act against the will of the person trafficked. Traffickers may use violence, manipulation, or false promises of well-paying jobs or romantic relationship to lure victims into being trafficked. Trafficking victims include men, women, and children of all age, race, and nationalities. It becomes a social problem because it makes minors and even parents afraid that these things can happen to their loved ones. Imagine the burden and sorrow that parents have gone through due to the victims.
Child trafficking is a sensitive subject in the eyes of the law. Why? Because first of all, it involves pushing or forcing individuals to create profit for the other, and it violates human rights. Human rights are the rights that all human beings have from birth. And in the eyes of the law, human rights are all the same and can't be violated between a person to another.
Next is law against child trafficking. According to Article 2 of Law Number 21 in 2007, said that any person who recruits, transports, harbors, transfers, moves, or receives any person by threat, use of force, abduction, confinement, fraud, deception, abuse of power or possession of a vulnerability, debt, bondage, or providing payments or benefits, even when obtaining the consent of another person who holds control over another person for the purpose of exploiting that person in the territory of the Republic of Indonesia shall be punished with imprisonment for a minimum of 3 years and a maximum of 15 years, and also a minimum fine of 120 million and a maximum of 600 million. In principle, it is necessary to understand that the criminal act of human trafficking consists of three important elements that are interconnected. There are 1. The act or actions are taken, namely the recruitment, delivery, transfer, harboring, or receipt a person. 2. The means, including the threat or use of force, or other forms or coercion, abduction, deception, fraud, abuse of power or position of vulnerability, the giving and receiving of payments or benefits. The last one, for the sake of exploitation or purpose or intent, the exploitation of others, prostitution, or other types of sexual exploitation, such as forced labor, slavery, servitude, and organ harvesting, are all examples of exploitation.
One of the cases of child trafficking is in Jambi. The victims are two young females that are sold to Jakarta as sex workers. The people behind the crime are named Suden, Kananga, and Puput. the TTPO, Komisi Perlindungan Anak Indonesia, and KPAI held the meeting on January 24, 2022 to solve and take action on the early updated case.
So here are some of the solutions. Number 1. Educate yourself. The greater one's understanding of child trafficking, the better prepared and equipped one is to combat it. Learn everything you can about the sex trafficking or child trafficking. Read books, articles, watch videos, and seek advice from the professionals. Number 2. Recognize the early signs. You may pass by a child sex trafficking victim without realizing it at an airport, a bus station, near the hotel, nail salon, or at a large sporting event. You can better assist a victim if you can recognize his or her appearance. Number 3. Inform the authorities if you have any suspicions. Save emergency number in your phone or get help from the nearest household or person. Number 4. Build awareness. Raise awareness amongst those you know, whether it's your friends and family, local churches and faith-based organizations, your workplace, and etc. Next, by spreading awareness, we can show this through posters, such as here are the posters that we made. So by this poster, we can spread awareness in public areas, school, and even social media where people have more access to it. As the poster has a simple design, it is more eye-catching and can be delivered more accurate.